You don't normally see these kind of things being used properly. Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello, and welcome back to the channel where you join me today for something pretty crazy here with the Brabus 800 XLP Adventure, the ultimate G Wagon. Now when this car launched, I went to Brabus's HQ in Bottrop in Germany to take a first look at it, and at the time they said we'd get up to something pretty exciting with it later in the year. Will you actually join me right now, literally inside a cooling tower of a gas power station for some proper off-roading that we're going to be doing with this insane thing, the ultimate G Wagon with 800 horsepower, huge ground clearance, longer than standard, and so many other modifications and changes that Brabus have made. Let's have a quick look before we're going for a pretty unusual drive. Just look at this thing here. The terrain is already fairly gnarly, but where we're going to be heading is going to dial it up even further. And of course, we are wearing boots for the purpose because things are going to be getting pretty crazy very shortly. But let's have a quick intro to the XLP Adventure. XL because it is extra large, P because it has the pickup, Adventure because it has Brabus's full off-roading package. But this takes a G Wagon and dials it up in every single way. It sits 35 centimeters taller than standard with 49 centimeters of ground clearance. It is extended by 70 centimeters, 50 of which comes from the wheelbase. Up front, we've got the 4-litre bi-turbo V8, which now in this car makes 800 horsepower and 1,000 newton meters of torque. So despite being a monster, it is also an insanely powerful thing. Let's come round. Up top, you've got the light bar, the roof rack, the pickup bed, and of course, well, where it's parked, this is nothing. This area is an easy walk in the park for what we're going to be getting up to shortly. But the first edition, this is the very car that I actually drove on the roads, something a little bit different. But like I said, they promised we would do some adventuring with the Adventure, which is exactly what today is about. So in a second, we'll hop on board. Oop, nearly falling over myself. We'll go for a drive in this and let's see what happens. It sounds good too, doesn't it? So I've chosen for the start just to witness the XLP 800 Adventure in action. So we're going to see it going around in here, which no doubt is going to sound mega with the echoes as well from this. Fairly dramatic. Just look at that thing. Yep, it sounds as good as expected and hoped. I mean, this is some serious terrain, by the way. Hard to quite, I think, put it into perspective as I just walk up, but that mound's, well, person height. The one at the back is gigantic. Look at that. Look at that thing with the light bar on as well. The sound in here, I apologise for the echoes, of course, but I mean, how often do you bring something like this, something as special as this machine, into an environment like this? That's so cool. That is so cool. The blow-off valve as well. Obviously the 4-litre bi-turbo V8, AMG's finest. Next comes heading through here then, which I guess for this is a total walk in the park. 49 centimeters of ground clearance with the new axles. Look at that. Look at that. You don't normally see these kind of things being used properly, but I think this is well and truly doing what a proper G Wagon is built and intended to do over some of this. I'm going to be giving that a go in a moment, and we're going to be going to make a splash, and we're going to be heading to the outdoor area. But believe me, this is some seriously nasty, difficult terrain. Look at that. How cool is this? Yeah, all of the echoes. I hear every word that I say back. I guess just the ground clearance needed to get over some of this stuff. So cool. And getting muddier by the second as we go. The first mission is of course to climb up. You do have a step that goes down when you open the door. I'm just going to bang off my boots a little bit. Actually, before I close the door, we are in park. Take a listen to this. Yes, that sounds cool. So door closed, which I can tell you outside gives massive, massive echoes. Obviously, being a G Wagon means we're in G mode, so we've got the differential locks. So we're currently in the center axle lock. We've obviously got everything set up traction and so in the right mode. This is obviously quite familiar, given I have a G63 back at home, but with a little bit of a difference. So, into gear. Let's just go for a little drive, because driving wearing boots is a different experience to begin with. And take it easy, considering the type of ground that we're driving over here. This is already a very unusual feeling. It's just like you get a little bit of a slide on. Just a little bit of a kind of a sideways experience. And obviously this is quite slow and gentle to get started, because it's quite different from driving a G Wagon out on the roads. It's a completely different type of experience. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to compare it per se, but we will try and go up and over some of these very steep bits, aiming straight away for the steepest of the steep bits, which is here. Gosh, look at that. Look at that. I tell you what, from inside the car, this is quite a significant step up. It's hard to believe that we can actually do this, but obviously we've just witnessed it, so we know we can. Get ready to point up towards the sky. And back down towards the ground. Okay, I mean, this is obviously a walk in the park for something like this. Go back up through this side, over the top. It's funny because that's actually nothing. This walks straight through it. I think we've got the cameras as well, so I can bring up the camera system, front and rear cameras, and you can see what you're driving over. I mean, that's part of the point of this. You can see the bars that we've got at the front, but that gives us the ability to actually see some of these bumps. I'm going to go all the way around and go straight over the big bits again. Get a little bit more of a feel for what we're getting up to here. Okay, there's off-roading, and then there's actually off-roading. You know, when you go to some of the kind of basic experiences, it's not this level of crazy. It's nothing like this level of crazy. So I'm going to do this with the cameras. Check this out. Let's turn on the camera system. Let's go to that view, because I think that's going to be quite cool. And point the car down at the ground. Actually, the camera's so high because of how high the car is. Goodness me. Goodness me. This is absolutely crazy. Obviously it's beeping because I've activated the sensors by having the camera on. Oh gosh. Okay, we want that turned off. It's probably got absolutely filthy up front as well, which doesn't help it. It's just weird the way you get that kind of slide going on. Anyway, we need to head out of the cooling tower and go explore further afield. We've come down from the cooling tower in hunt of making a bit of a splash, and as you can see around here, the terrain is seriously wild, and yeah, that's happening. Wow. Okay, and it's like absolutely nothing. I mean, this is gonna look seriously dirty afterwards. But you just drive straight through. Of course, we've got the diff lock on with this kind of ground, this very loose, sloshy mud, basically. You turn it off when you're driving on the drier tracks, and actually you can see just over there the cooling tower that we were right inside. We're literally in the center of that thing, which is pretty crazy. This is a mega off-road park. This is like, well, let's just look around us. This is incredible terrain. For a moment, I'm going to step out, and by the way, I haven't talked about all of these details that Brabus have made, the anodized buttons and controls and all the toggles and everything, but we are making a complete mess of this. Down on the side still, this thing is so tall. Yep, that's absolutely filthy, but I'm going to take a watch because this is about to spray a lot of sand everywhere. Look at that thing go. Just look at it. I'm slightly worried that I'm standing in a not very sensible location, but we're going to see in a moment how that translates. That's stupidly cool. That is a serious off-roading machine. I mean, that's not just like an SUV that can maybe go off-road. I mean, even a regular G Wagon has immense capabilities with all the testing that they do with them at the circle. Getting a little bit dizzy, but just look at it, just look at it. Acceleration test time to see how this works. No concerns at all. Obviously new wheels, massive tyres for the purpose. I mean, this is just mind-blowing, to be honest. And look at it like that. And the blow-off valve noise you hear from the outside as well. And look what's spotted over there. Making a serious splash. in the more regular G Wagon, of course, still very much Brabus 550 full spec. Wow. Even that just soaks it up. Soaks it up. This is basically a grown-up playground with the cars. Not sure what they're getting up to over there. But when it comes to off-roading driving experiences, my perspectives are changing. Because when you've been through this kind of terrain with a vehicle, I think anything less hardcore and it's really, really soft. I mean, this is really like proper, you know, sand, like challenging terrain. Obviously the Adventure spec also gives it everything you see, like the towing winch on the front, the roof rack, you can install various attachments. This is just amazing fun, honestly. When it comes to cars, of course, there are different types of driving experiences. You have comfortable long-distance cruisers, powerful beasts like some of Brabus's other machines. You have supercars for the racetrack. This here, doing this, I mean, imagine it out in the dunes or something. That's basically what we're doing. Yeah. Yep. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds pretty cool, actually. Pops and bangs and crackles out of the side exit exhaust of the XLP, which is now extra filthy. Checking this out from outside. Talk about making a splash. Oh, wow. Obviously the ground clearance of a G Wagon is already pretty impressive and its wading depth as well, but this is literally 35 centimeters taller. I guess with the ethos of the earlier 4x4 squared and the 6x6 that came directly from Mercedes. But this is... to stand back there. I was on the verge of getting absolutely drenched. That was a little bit too close for comfort. Possibly that wasn't the smartest, although I do now have very soggen boots as well. Look at this place. Yeah, watching where I'm walking, that's for sure. But this is some serious terrain. I've never done anything like this kind of place. Nothing like it. What on earth are we doing? Yeah, just escaping out, getting myself to some drier land, we could say. Only a little bit drier, because this is, yeah. It's a bit of a challenge on its own navigating around here as we've made our way back up. Now I know to get into the cooling tower takes a bit of an angle around here. Almost certainly going to do a bit of a 3-point turn just to make sure we get this right. You've got the gear selector on the stalk on the steering wheel, obviously all the surround cameras, you know what I was saying, all the luxuries and the tech and the comforts that make it easy to drive something like this. We're back in this place. I feel like we're on a different planet or something just looking around here. This is not normal. This is not normal at all. Totally bonkers experience. I mean, it just drives around on this like it's tarmac. Just like that. Done. Crazy. While we're in here though, I do want to hear how this sounds inside this place. So we will pop it up into Sport Plus mode. We've got our drive settings. Wow. That's cool. Just echoing around this whole place. Wow. Right, let's hop out for a moment. Stop button on that side. Open the engine bay because we're going to have a quick look under the bonnet, he says, climbing out, trying to not make a complete mess. And also, check this out, when I close the door, listen to the echo. Oh, that sound is mental. Inside here, it's just filthy, absolutely filthy. The 800 horsepower, 4 litre bi-turbo V8, and 1,000 Newton meters of torque, as you do. I mean, what a thing. The new Brabus bonnet that it wears as well. Got to lean up to somehow shut this down because it's very, very tall. Oh, wow. That was quite something. I mean, compared to me, like if I come and stand next to it, my head is kind of door mirror height. That's how big this thing is, the scale of it. Yeah, that was quite an adventure, literally, to be honest. As they said, going to be doing things with it that were pretty exciting, and I tell you what, compared to driving it gently on the road, that was certainly right up there. What a crazy machine, what a crazy creation by the guys at Brabus. So, I hope you've enjoyed this. I certainly have. A bit of off-roading with the 800 XLP Adventure. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you to Brabus as well for the opportunity. That is it for now, though, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers!